It's the Skid Show. Skadimes. I'm Raheem Skadimes. I'm here with my host, Rasul Skedaddles. And the Skid Show, man. We back for the draft. Yesterday was a really, really interesting day, man. We saw Eric Bieniemy, the new coach and GM of the Washington Commanders, have a great first day in the draft. We saw Coach Prime and them have to pivot, and the Houston Texans have to pivot in the draft. And we're going to talk about that and see if we feel like they had a good day in rounds 1 and 2. Talking to Prime after the first, second round, he still was completely happy with what he got. He said he was still able to attack his board. Everybody that he picked was guys that they were interested in. But I think the story of the day is the fact that the offensive coordinator minded Washington Commanders and what they did on the defensive side of the ball. In the first 2 rounds, they took 3 DBs and then turned around and took 3 O linemen along with their last pick, which was the first pick in the third round, and Savion Williams, the big 6'5" receiver from TCU. I mean, Skedaddles, I think it's safe to say that the Commanders are looking to have a basketball team on offense.
Yeah, they got a lot of big bodies, pulls. Um, yeah, they're just gonna shoot, man. Throw it up, bang.
I mean, we just got a trade alert that just happened right before the third round starts and continues that the 6'7" Florida State standout Johnny Wilson was just traded from the Houston Texans to the Commanders. Now, that gives you 4 receivers on your offense that's 6'4" or above. Are Do you think that Eric Bieniemy is making a statement on what type of football he wants to play? We saw him go get attack the offensive line with the agile offensive line for the dual threat quarterback. But when you get big time, big size like that at the receiver position, is it a sense of bully ball going to happen in the
I,
passing
I,
game though?
I believe so. In addition to that trade, they made a few other trades. They swapped picks and they moving up and moving back and they're just making all kinds of trades. They just
This might be the most movement we've seen a GM, not even just a franchise itself. Like we thought we saw it all uh, in the 24 draft with Coach Prime, but I think Eric Bieniemy is pitting the standards at another level right now. If we take a look at their draft picks and what they have to finish day 2, this team looks like they are not just trying to fix a team that was just 3 years removed from a Super Bowl, or 2 years removed from the Super Bowl. They're reloading. I mean, just day 2 alone, they got picked 65, 67, 84, 94. And then they have one pick in the fourth round, 97. But the way Bieniemy's moving, they're I don't think they're done trading. I think they might hop in the fourth round again too.
yeah. You see, they traded Johan Dotson, they get draft picks, and then they go and make a trade to pick up Johnny Wilson. I think they're realigning their offense, especially the wide receiver room, to look more like what Eric Bieniemy likes.
He was quoted on saying at Colorado they had a dual threat quarterback. We all know him as Flash, Cordell Stewart. Him being a running back in that backfield, and he was teamed up with another superstar running back in Rashawn Salam, rest in peace. But outside at the receiver position, they had big guys there. Even at the tight end position, they got big guys there. They had guys 6'6", 6'5". But remember, Westbrook was an old commander. Remember that?
Yeah,
And he was 6'4". So I think he's going back to his roots. It's good to see a coach, right, that come in and do things his way. What stands out to you, Skedaddles, about Eric Bieniemy? I think The NFC is showing Coach Prime and them over there in the AFC that they got company and there's a new sheriff in town. Would you agree with that?
Yep.
I mean, we can give a team a Super Bowl on paper. I don't think there's nobody moving the way these Commanders are moving right now. And they're day two. You know, they got picks in day two. They got four first and a fourth. So they're going to pick five picks, five players to go along with the outstanding first day they had. And who knows if they're done or not? Who knows what type of shuffling and moving they'll be doing right now? Now, on the other side, in the AFC side, Coach Prime. So, Skedaddle, let's talk about this for a second. Can he recapture the day? Because the storyline for the Houston Texans is that the entire NFL put them on notice and that they will not let them bully the offseason no more.
Yeah, they can definitely recoup today. I think they still got enough picks where it doesn't matter who they didn't get. The people that they do get will make a difference in the NFL.
They are loaded with picks too at pick 71, 75, 79, 80, 96. So they're going to play only in the third round and in this in second day two. But the question is this: this team went to a Super Bowl, one of the youngest football teams to ever win a Super Bowl. That means everybody's back under a rookie contract right now. So the essence of what they're doing, and all the picks they got in this draft, what do you think the strategy is, Skedaddles? Is this just to get depth to continue to be young and dominant, or overkill?
Pieces. The more puzzle pieces you have, the better your picture looks.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's very interesting to see what's going to happen in this draft. Now, they did pick up Xavier Weaver in the first round, but Trey and Johnny Wilson shortens their receiver room to just four guys. So I'm assuming that they're going to attack the receiver position in this draft too. But then there's a whole bunch of Colorado guys still out there that Coach Prime was very, very vocal in saying that if his guys are there, his guys are going to be in Houston. Do you think we see a day two where the rest of the NFL says not so fast, my friend, and start taking those Houston players or those Colorado players right up, right from under him?
I would if I was them.
Yeah, I think you got to continue to play chess with Coach Prime and make things hard for him, make them have to figure some things out because it seems like the strategy theirs is they coach these kids for 2 and 3 years in college. They're bringing in guys that they're completely familiar with, that their culture will stay the same, bringing in the talent that they recruited, got in the transfer pool portal, and guys that they brought with them from Jackson State. So like, I just think might be setting a new trend here where you go get guys, especially these coaches that came from college, go get guys that they were familiar with to better bring their culture into the NFL. Again, we're watching history in the making with Eric Bieniemy and the Washington Commanders and Houston Texans and Coach Prime as we get ready to start day two. The Arizona Cardinals are on the clock. All right, Cardinals went and got Waddle, and now they pick up free safety Kamari. I mean, listen, Skedaddles. It seems like these teams are sticking to the board. This was the
Yeah,
number one
definitely,
rated guy on the board.
definitely the best available.
Hmm. All right, Eric Bieniemy is right back up after picking at one in the second and the third round. Now he's back up. Let's see where they gonna go. I think this is gonna be interesting here. What they did thus far, man, I think anything they pick here is depth and luxury. Can they find starters in this third round with four picks? Outside linebacker Patrick Payton, Florida State. This kid has been starting at Florida State since the true freshman. This is a good pick right here. They needed an outside linebacker. I do think they're going to move him from left to out to right outside linebacker though, in their scheme. They just got better on that front seven. Right guard Ryan Rodriguez, Miami, goes to the Buffalo Bills. They're showing that they want to get some protection over there for both those quarterbacks. Remember, they took a quarterback yesterday in the draft that I never expected them to take, and Malik Murphy. But that's what they did. Now, Josh Allen, we know is his team, and it looks like they're just going to continue to build a front wall for him. And we might start to see a runoff on linemen today, Skedaddles. What do you think? That's three right there. I mean, two back to back right there.
Gotta have the protection.
Hmm. Let me know who they got.
Javez Ritzy, D tackle, North Carolina.
Ritzy in North Carolina. Oh, wow. All right. Man,
Let's see who Coach Prime gonna get with this first pick in the third round. I believe the pick is in.
yes, sir.
Oh, Marion Cooper,
Marion
Colorado.
Cooper, Colorado. They are sticking to their guns right now. Now, Marion Cooper played corner, but he went into the combine as a safety. The question is, do you think Coach Prime is going to move him back to cornerback, or allow him to stay at safety with his brother Shiloh Sanders at safety right there. Another right tackle off the board. Ohio State goes. We got the LA Chargers up on deck next. But I think Amarion Cooper is moving to that cornerback position. They did get rid of two corners through trade. So they got a little lighter there. And I think this pick is letting us know that Travis Hunter will continue to do what he did for Coach Prime at Jackson State and Colorado, which is play on both sides of the ball. Running back Evan Pryor, Ohio State. Now Evan Pryor, he had one season as a full-time starter uh, at Ohio State, and he rushed for 1,800 yards with 21 touchdowns. So I'd like the pick. They got a little deeper. They're getting long in the tooth in their backfield. So I like what the Chargers did there. How about these New York Football Jets? Quarterback Drew Aller. Now remember they lost the quarterback, but they had the kid from Utah there that played very very well for them. So I don't know. I don't understand that pick. Let's see what they got going on there. And right away, Houston Texans are back up again. Khalid Farley, listen, they are getting them NFL pedigrees, right? Marvin Harrison, he's a junior. Khalid Ferrari, he's a junior. Seems like they're picking up guys that got NFL fathers, NFL backgrounds, NFL pedigrees.
Yeah, the Jets got two old quarterbacks, so they got Mariota and oh God, I was just looking at it.
While the
And,
Cowboys and
Derek Carr. So
okay,
it
so
was
that's a
time
good pick.
for a new quarterback. Yep.
Yeah, I think Drew Aller comes right in to start. He got Penn State to the Big Ten championship, so we know this kid can throw the football. Now's Gaddy, the ex Jackson State uh, pass rusher from Coach Prime, goes to the Dallas Cowboys, and Jerry World is the first guy to step on Prime's toes with one of his players from college. Skedaddles, we need to know who these Shamir James, Florida, the linebacker. I like that pick. Now the Texans are back to back. What does Coach Prime do? I think he'll take his time with these picks here, especially when you got back to back picks. Nobody's pressuring you right now. I think they're deep they got too deep at the running back position. Um, they're really deep on their front seven on the defensive line. They could go linebacker, but I think they're going to play on the offensive side of the ball here. Um, he was quoted on saying that he felt like the receiver room is a very deep room that they won't reach for a receiver at all. Nope. We're going. It's getting close. They're gonna have to pick some. Where do they go? And bang. They bring in the tallest tackle to ever step foot in the NFL. Another Colorado player. I think they kind of had a pick of the litter. These guys are going after what they want, who they want, how they want them. So who knows where Prime and them going to go now. But my guess will be probably going to go on the offensive side of things here too, right? And they go get Davison E. Bigum's son. This is a guy that can play safety or corner as well. They go get themselves a tweener there. All right, Jacksonville Jaguars are up right now, man. They also went and got players that was a little question, right? They grabbed a receiver in this first round, in the first day. They go get Junior Colson, Michigan's linebacker. All right, they look like they're ready to get that defensive side of the ball going. How about these Green Bay Packers, the Aaron Rodgers-less Green Bay Packers? Skedaddles, I think Green Bay has been solid. Nothing splashy, but been solid in their picks in the first day. Let's see where they go on their first pick of day two. Elijah Pritchett, they go get the left tackle from Alabama. That's a great pick. Now the hoodie's back up again. Now we was talking yesterday that the New England Patriots and Coach Belichick, the game is passing him, but you said it's not passing him, right?
Um, no, I mean, he's a guru in the game. Okay.
Savion Jones, he goes and gets speed. Did he just jump on somebody's toes?
Yeah, he just did. Yes, he did. I think Eric B. Enemy is scrambling right now.
Eric Bieniemy is scrambling right now. We getting word that was their pick. Sometimes you got to jump in front of a team. And they go get Taiwan Malone, the D tackle from Ole Miss. I think this is a great pick. This is an athletic guy. He plays baseball. He won a championship for the Ole Miss Rebels in baseball. So they got an athlete at the D tackle position that could probably play all throughout that line, right? We like what they have. They have the veteran, the Allen, the young kid from Florida State, Fabian Love. And Ray John Davis from USC goes to the so Vegas. He's not too far from where he plays at, right? 3 hour ride from USC to Las Vegas. So that's a hometown pick for the Raiders. As we wait for these Saints to get, are they going to get a weapon for Khalid Williams? They go get right in T.J. Bowlers from Wisconsin. L.A. Rams is on deck. It seems like these teams are sticking to to their draft boards. It seems like they're sticking to, best availables at this point right now. Do you think it's too early to stick to that? It looked like the Houston Texans went all over the board. They draft some guys that was undrafted. Wilfredo Albarro, he's a good defensive end for Stanford. Stanford had some down years during his tenure there, but he was a standout. He had 2 seasons where he had double-digit sacks. So they are getting themselves a good edge rusher while Aaron Donald is getting up there in age. Let's see where the Dolphins go. Their last pick was a linebacker. They go Prince Colley, the Notre Dame linebacker. I think the Dolphins is making a statement that they're ready to play some defense. Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes is up. They want to put themselves back into relevant situations in the NFL right now. Patrick Mahomes is a couple of seasons removed from being in the Super Bowl. They go get a left tackle to protect Patrick Mahomes. And now the Carolina Panthers are up. They picked the quarterback in the first round for the first since Cam Newton, right? It's the first time since Cam Newton they picked the
Yep,
quarterback.
first round. Yep.
How do
First
you feel
first
like the
down.
Clemson's quarterback fits in their system? And they go get protection for him, right guard Henry Latovsky.
They can see if the game is too fast for him or not. Come this preseason.
Yes, sir. And then you got the Baltimore Ravens up with DJ Ugalele. They did the biggest talk with the Baltimore Ravens after they picked tight end Hudson Wolf. Are they saying something in that tight end room? Because they are loaded in that tight end room with Likely and then Mandrews. Now they go get Hudson Wolf here, and I think they drafted the tight end last year as well. They also have the Notre Dame tight end. What is Todd Monken, and them over there offensively trying to do? They got four dogs at tight end. Right guard Iowa, Connor Colby. Now we thought the Atlanta Falcons had a bad pick in day one, man, the first round. I mean, Raleigh Brown could be a slot receiver as well as a running back. He did play both at USC. But the fact that they drafted two running backs back to back years in the first round was very confusing, but we'll see how they use him.
With the next selection, it's the Washington
Andre
Commanders.
Turntine, strong safety from Tennessee, and the new sheriff in town and the capital is up deck right now. Skedaddles, let me know who they picked.
The New York Giants are now
Clayton
on the
Smith
clock.
Arizona
beating
State, Clayton
Arizona
Smith.
State.
We like it. We like it. The Giants are on deck now. I don't know how much longer
The Houston Texans are
Seven
now
McGee
on
stays
the
on the board, but
clock.
we do know the Commanders was very interested. They brought him in for a training session, so we'd like to see what they're gonna do with him.
Next up, the
The
Commanders
speedster
are on the
Squirrel White
clock.
from Tennessee goes to Coach Prime. They are getting fast at that receiver position. Coach Prime and them are opposite of what the Commanders are doing. They like smaller receivers that can do a little bit of everything versus the big, tall, gritty guys. Now we're in the fourth round, first pick in the fourth round. Let's see where these Commanders go.
The Cardinals on the clock now.
From Oregon to Jackson State to the capital of the United States, Washington takes Seven McGee. This kid can play receiver, punt return, kick returner, and definitely an in between the tackle running back. Honestly, let's talk skedaddles for a second while these picks go off the board. If there's not a better running back that fits the system of what
Now, the
Eric Bieniemy is
Jacksonville
trying to do in
Jaguars.
that backfield, you start to think of some of the Kansas City type of play where they throw the ball and creatively get the ball to their running backs in the passing game. Do you think Eric Bieniemy brings that to the Commanders with picking up a guy like Seven McGee who can actually play receiver if they needed him to?
Yeah, he's that new Jamal
It's the
Charles.
Buffalo
Hmm.
Bills now on the clock.
Raheem Anderson from Michigan. Anytime you get a Michigan lineman, you're getting a dog. 2 years in a row, let's make it three in a row, that their entire offensive line won the offensive line group award in college football. So this team knows what they're doing when it comes down to getting guys prepped to be ready to block, and NFL teams take full advantage of it.
Are now on the
Jaleel
clock.
Farouk from Oklahoma goes to the Buffalo Bills. They bring in another weapon for Josh Allen. All right, so the Houston Texans are done for day two. They don't have another pick in day two, so we'll get back and see if we can get Prime and find out what to do. Isaiah Johnson, he's a very tall corner from out of Arizona State, Pac-12. The one thing about it is Isaiah Johnson, skedaddles, he's played in a passing league, right? The Pac-12 throw the ball all around a yard, points get scored in a highway, so he's going to be prepped for the NFL. Usually, Pac-12 corners do a good job in the NFL.
Next up, the Tampa
Quarterback
Bay
Kyle
Buccaneers
McCord.
are on the clock.
Marvin Harrison's old high school teammate goes to the 49ers. Let me ask you this. Their first pick a couple years ago was a quarterback. That quarterback is no longer on this football team. They had a guy that came
The
out of the
Tennessee
dirt,
Titans
practice
are
squad
now
guy that
on
ended
the
up taking the starting
clock.
quarterback job. Is McCord in a situation where he can go play for playing time in California with the 49ers?
Yeah, definitely. Looking at their roster, all they got is Brock Purdy.
That's
So
what I'm saying. Brock Purdy,
It's the Los Angeles
Kyle
Chargers.
McCord comes in better than him right now. Lee Hunter, the D tackle. Now he used to play for LSU. He dropped some weight. He was a big guy, man. He dropped some weight, got a little bit more athletic for UCF. I like the pick. I don't know if he's a day one starter, but I like the pick. See what these LA Chargers do with the ninth pick in the fourth round.
The New York Jets
L.J.
are
Johnson.
now on the
Now this was
clock.
Texas A&M. This is Grandma Mom's son, L.J. Johnson Jr. They were he transferred from Texas A&M and M in that really loaded backfield and became the starter, but shared time with Kamar Wheaton. They're in the same draft right now. His classmate goes first, fourth round to the Chargers. That's the second running back the Chargers took.
It's
How do
the
you feel about that?
Pittsburgh Steelers.
I guess they needed running backs over there.
I mean, these guys are loading up on positions right now. I don't know if that's because they're taking the best available or they actually really need them. I'm gonna go look at the Chargers roster right
Yeah,
now.
they got an agent Austin Eckler,
Selection. The Cincinnati
Isaiah
Bengals
Spiller,
are on the
and
clock.
Sir Roderick Thompson. So they definitely needed a new
Upgrade,
injection of running
yeah,
backs.
yeah, I can see that. All right, Johnson Dunn, safety from Kentucky, goes to the Steelers. This is the type of safety the Steelers always go get, right? A guy that he had a solid
On the
career.
clock now, the Dallas
This kid
Cowboys.
right here is a dog. But let's go back to the last safety that was taken off the board. Solid career, but usually when Pittsburgh get those type of players, they turn them into superstars. But Hunter Wooler, this kid is a hitting machine. I'm talking about if he was a little taller with a little bit more weight, he would have been a linebacker at Wisconsin. But he hit like he's a linebacker, man. They said there was only one other linebacker
On the clock.
in high school that hit like him, and that was Justin Flo. Nate Bruce, left guard from Penn State, goes to the Cowboys. While the Broncos are up, let's talk about these Cowboys for a second because they are having a great draft. What do they do at the quarterback
The
position? Is
Las
it
Vegas Raiders now on the
who they pick?
clock.
They picked Noah Pulalele, right guard from UCLA.
So you got Dak Prescott at 32 years old, Malik Cunningham's the backup quarterback with Brett Ripon over here. At some point, I think Malik Cunningham is going to be the starting quarterback for the Dallas
The
Cowboys.
Philadelphia Eagles now on the clock.
Ethan Downs, left end out of Oklahoma. It's a good pick for the Las Vegas Raiders. Philadelphia's up now. I mean, Philadelphia been killing it for 2 years straight.
It's the Bears now on the clock.
They go Oregon.
Tight end Terrence Ferguson.
How do you think the battle of the NFC East is going to look this year, man? The Eagles have been doing a really good job with their roster, but so has the Commanders.
It's going to be crazy between the Eagles, Cowboys, and Commanders.
And let's not forget about the Giants. They
It's
just
the
played in the Super Bowl.
Chargers on the clock.
Tyler Van Dyke. This kid had a great sophomore year, but then fell off during the coaching change. He played solid for his last season, solid enough to be picked in the fourth round. But you know as well as I know with the quarterback play in Chicago, he's not going to see the field. That's a backup pick. With the Eagles being back on deck.
The New England Patriots
Kevin
are
Gilliam,
now
D
on the
tackle,
clock.
Oklahoma.
The Eagles just traded up to get that pick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they wanted that guy bad. They got their guy though. All right, Hoodie's up on the board now,
On the clock
and he goes
now,
to get
the
Monkel
Detroit
Goodwine, D tackle from
Lions.
Alabama. Anytime you get an Alabama guy, you got a guy that has a good upside or potential, or you're dealing with a 5 star who tapped out. So only Hoodie's going to find out what he's about. Detroit Lions on deck. It's kind of been an interesting day too. Seems like guys are getting the best available off the board.
It's the Las Vegas Raiders
You seen two teams probably maybe we can call them reach picks if we want to say, right? And that's those two guys that have been battling it out for 2 days straight, and that's Coach Prime and the enemy. They both been getting guys that they want, not guys that they need all the time, right? Or the best available.
First down.
Thomas
At the
Cole, right
Raiders
tackle, goes to,
6.
from UCLA. A Chip Kelly offensive lineman goes into the Vegas uh, Raiders, and I think the Vegas Raiders are having a good draft, especially a good day too. Is this going to be the pick where they get another weapon for
The
Khalid
Los
Williams?
Angeles Rams
Nope,
are
they go
about to
cornerback
begin
Philip
on
Riley,
the clock.
Notre Dame, solid corner. Rams on deck. We still haven't seen the Miami Dolphins go after a receiver yet. So, Skedaddles, I'll ask you this question. Do you think they're comfortable with their receiver room for them not to attack one in this draft thus far?
The Miami Dolphins now
Either that
on
or
the
they're gonna
clock.
trade or hit the free agency during the preseason.
Yeah, Ty Thompson, Oregon. Ty Thompson was a four-star that really lost his way because of Bo Nix. Simple as that. Bo Nix jumped in the way of him being able to be a star. So he only had 1 year of full film on the field.
The
And
Kansas
Oregon
City
was solid, but
Chiefs
wasn't as
now
great as they
on
should
the
usually
clock.
are. Nakeem Johnson of Pittsburgh right in goes to the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins is on defense all day. They haven't made an offensive pick in this draft.
Defense win championships.
Yes, sir. All right, man. How about the Red Rifle?
The Carolina Panthers now
Kalon
on the
LeBarn.
clock.
That's their second running back they picked in 2 days. Now, listen, he used to play for Florida State, tore his ACL twice, and somehow became a faster running back. Went from a 4.45 to a 4.37. And Kalon LeBarn really reborn himself, no pun intended, at Marshall
Next selection.
and has
The
been steady
Raiders
at
are on
Marshall.
the clock.
I think they're getting themselves a really good running back. And I think don't be surprised if Kalon LeBarn is not the starting running back for the Chiefs coming out of preseason. Elijah Judy, Nebraska D tackle. Matt Rule gets a guy in the draft.
The Atlanta Falcons are now
Another
on the
tight end for
clock.
the. All right, at this point now, we want to know what the hell's going on with Baltimore. Seriously, like what's going on in Baltimore right now? I mean, what are they doing with Todd Monken and them? I mean, last time we questioned Baltimore was the Lamar Jackson situation, right? And it seemed to work out for them because they made it to the playoffs. But this roster right now, as we
Next
stand,
selection.
Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, Charlie Collier, and they just drafted two more tight ends. Running back Jaden Blue, Texas. This kid can catch the ball out the backfield as well. But now that's the third running back
Next up, it's the
picked by, and then his
Seahawks
biggest
on the
son's brother
clock.
goes off the board, free safety from Rutgers. His brother, Ohio State, transferred from Ole Miss to Ohio State, and Coach Prime took him in the third round. But Desmond is the more physical DB out of the two brothers. He's a true safety that, to me, will probably find time in that
Now on the
secondary.
clock, it's the 49ers.
Keith Brown out of Louisville, middle linebacker. That's the last of the dying breed when it comes down to Louisville. Yasir Abdullah and Yaya Diaby. Keith
Diaby.
Brown was the other stud on that defense over there. He's finally out of college and onto his NFL roster in Seattle. Some say he could
The
be the Bobby
Tampa Bay
Wagner of the Seattle
Buccaneers
Seahawks.
are on the clock.
Chase Smith, Miami, goes to the Giants. While the Commanders are prepping to pick, look like the Super Bowl uh, team that lost the Super Bowl is looking to still get better on the defensive side, giving up 90 points in the Super Bowl. They want to get better defensively, especially against the run.
Now on the clock, the
Colorado's
Washington
Landon Beebe
Commanders.
goes to the Tampa Bay Bucks. And the enemy in them are up as they have a legend walking across the
Arizona
stage.
Cardinals are now on the clock.
Alejandro Mata. Coach Prime said if he's there when it's time to pick, that he will get them. And guess what happened? Let's not forget that Eric Bieniemy is a Colorado graduate. He is a Colorado superstar. If you think he's going to let Coach Prime Keep all the Colorado talent in the AFC is crazy.
Stars are on the clock.
Look, man. As Jalen Davies from UCLA goes off the board, we said this in day one with Sony Styles that the Commanders had the best pick of the draft. But then we come to day two, and they spend a fourth round pick on a or a fifth round pick on a kicker. Was is Mata the steal of the draft?
It might be if he can kick it from the half field, midfield. Yeah, he's gonna be the steal of the drive.
I mean, as day two finishes up, we got to talk about Mata. We're talking about a kicker that never missed a kick in college football. He's had four blocked, but never missed a kick in college football. In fact, he had two blocked in 2 years at Colorado and two blocked in one season as a freshman at Jackson State. But he kicked a 65 yarder in Colorado to beat USC last year. Some had him graded to go third round, and you got him with the first pick in the fifth round. Do you feel like that was a steal pick there?
Fifth round, I think is adequate. I think it's a perfect pick for him.
So how long did you have your eyesight on him? Uh, like how long did you pay attention to him? Because I know that you got to the point where it's like we got to pull the trigger now.
I just felt it was time. I can't get Houston Texan in this draft. I can't get Texan fired.
Oh my God! All right, so as we talk to the enemy and their war room right now, you guys have had a hell of 2 days. Um, and we saw a couple of the times y'all turned y'all cards in and got the guys that y'all drafted on the phone, and none was more exciting than Jacquez Robinson. He wasn't at the draft. He never even came to the draft to take pictures and do all the interviews and things like that. Um, he went straight from combine to training and getting worked out. But he was with his family after having a newborn. They were in the hospital while he was having a baby. You guys picked him. How special of a moment was that?
It's very special.
Now, when you picked up the phone to make the phone call, did you know that he was having a baby?
No, he didn't. He didn't disclose that to the front office.
I mean, you got a guy that has a baby boy that comes in, a Jacquez Jr., and not only does he have a baby boy, right after his wife delivered, he gets a phone call that changes their entire lives. We know that little boy's going to grow up and have a very comfortable life as long as he continues to play, being a first rounder. Any other team skedaddles that stood out to you in this draft in the second day?
Definitely the Cowboys.
Hmm.
The Eagles. The Eagles made a quick pick, and then they came back and traded up and got a pick, two picks later. I think that's a big move by a team like that.
Yeah, I like the entire NFC. You had the Giants playing the Super Bowl last year. The Commanders are the hot team on paper right now, and the way they doing things and moving. But the Eagles been consistent. They can been consistent in how they tack free agency and the draft, and they continue to do it in day two. I think though my biggest thing was Jalen Waddle not getting picked back up by the Dolphins, and the Dolphins making a statement. They like their number two receiver out there, Miami, because they attacked the defensive side of the ball the entire first 2 days. I do think they will come back and get a receiver. It's a lot of receivers left on the board that, to me, that can be NFL good NFL receiver, especially somebody to be a compliment receiver. But the Dolphins going defensively, they making a statement that they want to play defense this year. I like it, especially with an offensive minded head coach. Let's take a look at the remainder of the draft boards and what's left as we go down in order. Free safety Anthony Beavers from USC. You got another safety. It's all safeties at the top of the draft right now as we go down our top 100, top 300 players, right? CJ Williams, the wide receiver that transferred from Clemson to Wisconsin, 6'3", big body guy. You got Jaden Bullard, another receiver. Again, when we talk about Miami and their attack, if they're going to go get a receiver or not. But then you got another Colorado kid and Kendrick Breelove. This is one of the fastest, if not second fastest, I think, corner. He ran the second fastest 40 in the draft. That's still on the board right now. I think he's only still on the board because he's 165 pounds. But I think somebody's going to get him before day three is over with. We're going to go down and see a lot more receivers. Ra Dilworth from North Carolina. He transferred to East Carolina. He's there. Amari Harvey, that used to play for Miami. New Jersey's Elijah Clark. Syracuse is still on the board. I think he's a very good corner. Somebody that'll get in day three. Jalen Reed from Penn State. Nice safety. Another safety, Zaki Wheatley from Penn State. You got cornerback Clinton Burton Jr., Marcus Barris from Indiana. Got some good players still left on this board right now going into day two. Um, all right, so as we clean up, and before we get out of here for day one, day two is over. Rounds 5 through 7, we'll finish off day three. So far, everything's been impressive. This is Skadimes and my boy Skedaddles in the Skid Show. Draft recap. Draft recap will be tomorrow. We'll see y'all then.